Everyone, in this video we are going to see about integrator using an op-amp. We will also see the limitations of basic integrator and how to design a practical integrator. Op-amp can be used as an integrator, so in which the output will be the integral of the input signal. Suppose I have an integrator and give a square waveform as the input. We know for a constant the integration will be, for example, if I take A into dt, it should be equal to A into t. It means that if I give a square waveform, I will get a triangular waveform like this. Similarly, if I give a sinusoidal waveform, what is the integral of sine? It is cos. So I should get a waveform like this. So already in the previous video, we have seen about differentiator. Now from the differentiator, we can easily bring an integrator because we know how to convert a differentiation into an integration. So in differentiator, we had resistor in the feedback loop and a capacitor in the input side. So we are going to just interchange the position of these two elements so that we will get the integrator. So in integrator, you have capacitance in the feedback and R as the input resistance. So the integrator circuit is basically a inverting amplifier. You can see here the non-inverting terminal is connected to ground, and this here normally we'll have a feedback resistor in inverting amplifier which is replaced by a capacitor, and input resistor is here. Input voltage is applied to the inverting terminal. So since this end is connected to ground and we have a feedback path, this node potential will be equal to 0, or we can say it is also at virtual ground. Vn is equal to 0. Now let us assume that the current through this resistor is IR and current through the capacitor is IC. According to Kirchhoff's law, sum of the current entering the node should be equal to the current leaving the node. So IR equal to IC. So let us find what is this IR and what is IC. So the current through the resistor R is given by Vin minus Vn by R. So Vn is 0. So let us write IR equal to Vn by R. Similarly for capacitor, the current IC is given by C into dV by dt. What is V? Vn minus V0 by dt. Vn is 0. So you will get IC is equal to this equation. Now you have to equate these two. So equating these two and solving for V0, you will get V0 is equal to minus 1 by RCF in integral of Vn into dt. So you can see that the output is integral of the input voltage. Sometimes you may get some voltage here when the capacitor is initially charged. Now let us find the frequency response of this integrator. So for frequency response, we have to write that in S domain. So write it in S domain. For integral, it should be 1 by S. So V in by S. So what is S? S is equal to j omega and omega is nothing but 2 pi F. Gain is given by V0 by V in. So V0 by V in is you will get 1 by 2 pi F omega. Omega is 1 by 2 pi F into R into CF. Okay. So plot this frequency response of the integrator. Gain is here. Frequency will be in x-axis. And this is 0 dB line. Now you can see here this gain is inversely proportional to frequency. 2 pi R CF are constant. Only frequency is a variable quantity here, and that is inversely proportional to the gain. Suppose I have a DC signal of frequency 0. So for DC signal frequency is 0. F is equal to 0 means gain is a very high value. 1 by 0 is infinite, or it will be a very high value. At low frequencies, if you see here, the gain is very high. Now we will see the frequency at which it touches the 0 dB line, or gain is equal to 1. So when gain is equal to 1, or this, that is 0 dB line, the frequency is given by the remaining terms 2 pi RCF. So 1 by 2 pi RCF is the frequency at which the gain is 1. Okay. So this is the frequency response of the integrator. So this has two limitations. As you can see, the frequency at low frequency or DC, the gain is very high. So when the gain is very high, what happens? In practical integrator, it cannot go to infinite value because of power supply. So we will have only plus 15 or minus 15 volt for the op amp. So our output cannot exceed this value. So normally what happens, even at low frequencies, the output will saturate. Another problem is that the op amp is not an ideal one. So there will be some offset voltage. If there is a small offset voltage also, because of this high gain, the output may go to saturation. So to design a practical integrator, we have to take care of these two limitations. Now we will see how to design a practical integrator from a basic integrator. So in this basic integrator, the main problem is that high gain at low frequency, because gain is given by this reactance, capacitive reactance, by this resistance. So here at low frequency, X is very high. So in order to reduce this effect, what we are going to do is, you are going to add a resistance in parallel with the capacitance. So when you add some resistance in parallel with another one, the net reactance will be reduced, so that we can reduce the gain of the configuration. Another drawback is that due to input offset voltage, the output will saturate. So that can be eliminated by having a resistor here, compensation resistor. This is to limit the bias current. So by limiting the bias current, we are able to control the offset voltage. And this circuit or this configuration is called a lossy integrator, because basically here the power is dissipated. It is like a practical capacitor which can dissipate energy. So let us find the frequency response of the practical integrator. Here RF and CF are in parallel. Okay. So we need to find the voltage equation. For that, let us find the equivalent impedance of this combination first. RF, when two things are in parallel, formula is Z1 Z2 divided by Z1 plus Z2. So here RF into 1 by SCF divided by sum of these two components. Okay, so let us simplify this one. So you got this combination impedance. Now let us apply the current KCL here at this node N. So the current entering, let us take it as IR, and the current flowing in both the branches. Okay, this in this part, it is equal to IF. So IR equal to IF. So IR we have already found it. It is V in by R, and IF is V naught divided by ZF. Okay, so V naught divided by ZF. So it is RF by this part will come in numerator. So again we will simplify it and find what is V naught. So if you simplify and find V naught, you got the expression. Then to draw the frequency response, we should know the gain. Gain is given by V naught by V in. So A is given by this one. The gain A is given by this one. Now you have to see here one thing. When the frequency is 0, that is omega is equal to 0, what you will get is A is equal to R by R. It means that At low frequency, the gain is almost constant, which is equal to RF by R. So you'll get a straight line like this. So with the practical integrator, we have reduced the gain during the low frequency region. And we need to find what is the frequency at this point. So which is given by FA. Where is FA? 2 pi into RF into CF. Now we have to decide at what region we need to operate so that you will get a proper integration. If you see in this region, low frequency region, the gain is almost constant. So the op-amp basically acts as an inverting amplifier. There is no integration here. It acts as a inverting amplifier only. But if you see here only, integration occurs. So we need to operate in this particular region. Especially you make sure that this frequency is, your operating frequency is greater than 10 times this FA. So the points to remember here are integrator, the output will be the integral of the input signal. It can be used as a low pass filter, or you can use it as a triangular wave generator or ramp wave generator. So if you give a square wave, you will get a ramp, or a triangular wave, you can get it. The limitations of basic integrator are it has a high gain at low frequency, which will lead to saturation. Output voltage gets saturated because of that, and because of input offset voltage also, the output leads to saturation. If you like the video, do subscribe to Read Electric Vehicle. Thank you.